Tropical Smoothie Cafe believes you deserve a getaway every day, not just once a year. Summer mocktail smoothies are here for a limited time at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Mocktail hour on the pool deck is just a sip away. Visit one of Tropical Smoothie Cafe's 1,400 locations or order online or through their app. Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday, and that means we are going to talk about TLC's 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. I'm here with Kimberly, and Kimberly, I just noticed that my banner has the wrong thing, so let me switch it. There we go.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, listen guys, I did 3 episodes today. I did MILF Manor, I did Bravo for Thursday, and now I'm doing this one. So I've had to be switching my banners for my things, and I'm just confused.
You're working hard for the people.
I'm working hard for the people because I want, when I go to Mississippi to do the orientation, I want to be present and not be thinking, oh my God, I got to get home and take notes because I got to get this episode out. I don't want to be stressed. And also, Doug could only record on Monday. So there we go.
Okay.
There we go. There's that.
Are you saying Angela doesn't invade your personal private time with your family at all, like she does mine?
No, she doesn't. And I'll tell you what else. I was very proud of the Drew Barrymore show for hearing the cries of the people and pulling it down.
Why will Drew listen, but not Matt Sharp?
Right. But, a lot of people on my Facebook group were like, who's this Ross person and how come he liked her so much? I was like, okay, you don't know who Ross Matthew is?
Yeah.
But Ross Matthews is a huge 90 Day fan, and he was at that TLC 90 Day 10-year anniversary party that I went to.
Oh.
He was there with his husband, and I talked to him, briefly. And yeah, so he's a huge fan. So I think for him, he was like super excited, but he probably doesn't follow any of the behind the scenes stuff. I'm sure he has no idea that Michael left or any of that.
Right.
He's like a famous person just likes to watch it.
He has eyes though.
He has eyes and ears, but my understanding was this was filmed like several months ago, so maybe it was before the word came out that Michael had escaped his captor.
Right.
Either way, she's awful.
He's always been horrible.
Yeah, right. I agree, but I think that the Drew Barrymore show made the right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, because I reposted it and tagged with the Drew Barrymore show. I
did. Good for you.
Yeah, I was like, this is an abomination.
I hope people.
Yes.
I'm going to stop right now.
Uh-oh. You were going to say something terrible and you stopped.
No, I was just like, the people can rise together and use their voices for this. I hope they do it for something else in the fall.
Yeah, that's right. Vote what your spirit and your heart tells you.
Exactly.
That's right.
I'm not telling you who to vote for.
No, we're not.
Vote.
Just vote. If you have an opinion, you should use it.
Yeah.
I have a neighbor that has a real strong opinion on their yard. And it's not great. Every time I pull out of my driveway, I'm like, do we have an HOA? No, we don't. Damn it.
You don't have an HOA.
We have like a neighborhood association where people send out newsletters and do fundraisers, and that group of people like got together to get our neighborhood named as a historic neighborhood, and they have a like a barbecue in the summer and stuff like that, but it's not like an HOA where there's rules. Like we've lived in two different townhouses where we had rules.
Yeah.
Like the garbage can be this many feet from the thing, and the grill could be this, and rules. But no, this neighborhood is every man for themselves. Yeah.
I love that.
I don't. I like an HOA. I like rules. I'm a rule follower.
This is like that show with the prisoners, and they're allowed to rule their own pods in prison.
I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. And I wouldn't also want to be the person to take control either.
No.
I just like to be a sheep. I like to follow.
I like rules, but I like to be the one who's in charge of the rules.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, then good. I'll stick with you. We'll be fine. I have to tell you the funniest thing. So my friend Ann that you met that was at CrimeCon, she posted on her Facebook that because she had bought like a VIP silver package or something, she could get something like 6 5-minute phone calls with creators of her choice.
5 phone calls.
Phone calls or meetings or something.
We had meetings with some people that chose us. Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah,
so
that's
maybe now that it's over, she could do phone calls,
Oh, I
right?
wonder if it was people that weren't there, you could do phone calls?
I'm not sure, but
Okay, that's
or
exciting. Okay.
or maybe she's thinking about it for next year.
Uh-huh.
But either way, she was wondering if she could use all 6 on one person and then have like a 45-minute conversation with Nancy Grace.
My God.
I was like, if you wanted to, I don't know. I don't know the
Speaking of
rules.
cults of personality.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know the rules. I don't know.
No, God.
Kimberly and Katie would probably love to only have to talk to somebody for 45 minutes.
I
Just
would
one person.
because
Yeah.
we had to do it. I mean, it was such an like honor that people chose us, but it
Yeah.
was so fast. You barely had time to it was just I felt really badly like I wasn't being entertaining enough and they chose
Did you
us.
like go into a little room and then just
Yeah.
rotated the people in?
Yes, they literally and then they'd be like, "Okay, time for pictures." And then we would take pictures and then they'd bring in the next people and it was like 5 or 10 minutes and then she'd come back in, "Okay, let's take a picture really quick." And then it was on to the next person.
That's stressful.
Yeah, it was very stressful. Like I have to be just make this moment worth it for
Yeah, 'cause
5
somebody
minutes
paid. Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
could have gone and picked somebody else. Josh
Yeah.
Mankiewicz or somebody.
Yeah, exactly. It could be anybody.
Yeah, somebody way better
Wow.
than us.
No, I can't imagine anybody better. You guys were
There were
probably
several people though we did not think knew who we were and thought maybe we were Dateline
yeah. Yeah,
because
I bet that happens a lot.
um and then I felt really bad.
Yeah, you're like, "You know that we don't work for the show, right?
No. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
We can't do anything for you.
This is not Keith Morrison, and this is not Andrea Canning." Yeah.
No. I know it's easy to make that
Yes.
mistake.
Yes.
I'm a tall, leggy blonde
Oh,
with
yeah.
children.
With 7 children? Yeah.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
poses in bikinis on Instagram because I'm perfect.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
No.
They just didn't. A couple people like didn't seem to know about our podcast. So
And they're like, "I
embarrassing.
paid for this, and who
I
are you
know.
again?"
So embarrassing.
I got a passive aggressive DM from a lady on MILF Manor who let me know that she'd never heard of me and didn't know my podcast. Okay.
But reached out
To tell me that she
doesn't
didn't,
know who you are.
yeah, she wanted to let me know that she wasn't happy with another MILF who I've become quite close with, Lynette, the queen of the MILFs. Who left on this week's episode. Not, I guess it's a spoiler if you haven't watched it, but it was on 2 nights ago. She had some real strong feelings about this other MILF, and told me I asked her permission if I could read her text to me aloud, and she said yes, and I did, and she was a lot of negative things to say about the other MILF, and the other MILF wrote me with terrible grammar and said that she had never heard of me or my podcast, but I had never met. What she said was, "You have never met myself, so I don't know. Sure, you could have an opinion of myself, but with this other person needs to only focus on their self, myself." It was like a lot of myself, but in
Wow.
the wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Irregardless.
Irregardless,
Therefore.
therefore too. So, oh my God, Kimberly, I was listening to our episode when I was driving in the car a couple days ago because I always try to listen at some point just to make sure, like, I didn't say anything to get canceled or anything. And I was listening, and you were going irregardless, and I was going here for two. I was like, is that funny or is that annoying to the good people of Boston?
Most likely annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, most likely annoying. Okay, so let's go over some programming notes here. As you guys know, Mondays is Inmate to Roommate with Keisha. That is until Love After Lockup comes back in July. We'll still cover Inmate to Roommate, but it'll probably be a little more condensed.
What
But
did you
because
say with Keisha on Instagram? And you were like, you don't even know who these people are, and you're inviting them into your home because they can help you fold your laundry or something. Is that what you said?
remodel your basement.
Remodel your basement. And she's like, you're going to be buried in the basement.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, the Inmate to Roommate has really gotten good. It's really gotten good.
I was
A&E Thursday
worried it
nights.
wouldn't live up to last season, so I will check out this season.
I think it's better.
Oh, wow.
There's this star couple, Veda and Annalisa, and they've taken in this guy, Mark, who's got a real mouth on him. And Veda and Annalisa are living in a half-done home, but it's never addressed. Like, why is there painter's tape everywhere? Why are like half walls ripped out? It's like never addressed. And they are so funny, and she is so funny. And I go, we just need a HGTV show with Veda and Annalisa. We don't need this inmate being disrespectful
I
to
love it.
her. We just need those two and get this house all together.
I love it.
Oh, we love them. There's also a lady who just was taken in a prisoner, and she got her identity stolen in 2008 and has never been the same and went into like ruin because of it. So the prisoner that she's taken in has been in prison for identity theft.
No.
So that's maybe not. Maybe you should ask people, what are you in prison for? Okay, so that's inmate to roommate, guys. That's on Mondays. Also on Mondays on the $10 Prime level is MILF Manor. And here on Tuesdays, we are doing HEA, but we will start doing Toe the other way next week. I'm very excited about that. Shekinah and Sarper, not so much. Not
Sarper.
so much. Oh my God, he's my
Why do you sleep
king.
with so many women, though, King? I'm your queen.
I hear that in this season, we're going to have a whole conversation about how he gets to pick out her new nose.
I can't.
Okay, because
That
it's
doesn't surprise me.
he has to look at it. So yeah,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
He did want her to gain like 1 pound of muscle, and he
And
was doing
lose 6 pounds of
calculations.
fat. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Good luck. So, okay, so that's that. And on Thursday this week, I have Doug Buden on talking about Real Housewives of New Jersey. So that's fun. And this coming weekend on Hey Bunky, that's $5 is the finale of 90 Day Love in Paradise. And then we will start HEA over there, and 90 Day UK is there. This week, I think we're going to get I Love You Chicken. I think I Love You Chicken is coming back this week.
I love you, chick. Katie
Yeah,
does it better. Katie does it the best.
Great. And we're halfway through the season. We hadn't seen him yet. I hate when they do that.
They know that's why we're tuning in.
Yeah. They had a baby. We got to see the baby Jose.
Want to see the baby chick.
Starting July 16th is Welcome to Plathville. That'll be on the $5 level. As a reminder to everyone here, I'm a certified stamp of approval Welcome to Plathville expert. I've interviewed Ethan and Olivia. I've interviewed Olivia alone. I'm very proud of that interview that I did. Those are episodes 350 and 724 on the free feed. Just Google it. I Googled it. I found them. And I've reached out to TLC and Olivia requesting another interview. MILF Manor. We already talked about that. You guys, all the MILFs are reaching out for the interviews and the MILFs and the dads and the DILFs. And I'm just like, I think I'm done with my interviews, but thanks you guys. Thanks for love. Yeah.
They all want to meet Mary Payne and tell their story.
Yeah. I had a MILF from last season reach out.
You're like, your time has passed.
Stephanie with the F, with that fake relationship with Gabriel. No. Okay. And I don't know why they're reaching out, because I don't think they're paying for the $10 level. I think they've just maybe seen some clips. I don't know. Finally, guys, a new show is coming on TLC. It's called Forbidden Love, and I'll be covering that over on Prime with this gal here, Kimberly, and that will start Prime Monday, starting July 22nd. So that's what's happening. Kimberly's in the middle of a move, and that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm very tired. Sorry, guys. Low energy.
Low energy. Yeah, I see you don't have your stars and things behind you. Have you packed those up?
Those are packed. Yeah.
Wow, you still got your Dateline pillow.
Heart, barren soul.
Yeah. All right, well, let's start our recap. And once again, heavy on the Mary Payne.
Yes, I know. I thought it was my week.
Heavy on Mary Payne's participation. And I don't have the episode title. Will you please look that up on your phone while I am
absolutely
talking? It's, I believe, season 8, episode 15, but I don't have the title. Okay. So the recap is going to start now. And here
Jack and the Visa talk instead of Jack and the Beanstalk.
Wow.
They're stretching now.
Wow. Who came up with that? Somebody smoked a bowl and was like, what rhymes with beanstalk? How about Visa talk? Doesn't rhyme. All right. Let's start with Jasmine and Gino. She's all excited about the beauty pageant. Miss International World Supermodel. You know what? I
Galaxy.
still haven't cared to look up to see if she won. Still, I think I'll do it, and then I don't because I don't care.
I assume she won because I feel like we would all be dead. The world would have burned down if she had lost, because I feel like she might just implode in some sort of atomic bomb situation.
I don't think this first showing is good.
It's not a good showing. It's not a good omen for her.
It's not. She's not pageant ready, I don't think.
Also, is she ready to take any sort of criticism whatsoever? No. Maybe a beauty pageant is not the right place for someone with severe body dysmorphia, anger issues, uncontrollable rage, abandonment issues,
Okay.
hatred of her husband,
No,
sex fetishes. I'm just throwing that in. It has nothing to do with anything. Maybe a beauty pageant is not the best place, and she would be better served in a therapist's office.
Well, I think she just assumes she's going to win. So he said, so they're in the car and they're driving, and he's like, you got everything you need. You got all your shoes. You got your toothbrush. You know, that competition's going to be tough. You know, I'm the manager and I'm going to keep you calm. And
Was toothbrush a joke about the toothbrush incident?
I'm assuming that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he says, I'm a man wearing many hats. She's like, oh, I burn your hats. So they land in Florida. And now she's got on a crop top and hot pants with a brooch there in the middle for the rehearsal. And he's like, is that what you're wearing? And she goes, yes, this is what we have to wear. When she gets there, everybody's wearing the exact same thing. So they were told to wear that. And
she took off the waist cincher, at least. She was wearing a waist cincher at the airport.
She was.
Which is god awful. That's wrong. I hate it. Why are we changing the shape of women's bodies? But also, that's very uncomfortable at an airport. Did she wear that on the plane? I can't think of a worse nightmare.
I mean, you'd have to, okay.
Like being in a straitjacket on an airplane.
God. So then she says, I feel bloated. It's that time of the month. And then she tells us she prefers sanitary napkins to tampons. And, you know, we didn't need to know that. And she walks into a crowded room and goes, hello, everyone. It's Jasmine. I'm Miss Panama. Hello. Not one person looks up or gives two shits at all.
Yeah, I was surprised that not one person recognized her.
So the CEO, Angela, she welcomes them, and the coordinator is Susmita, and she tells them all about what's going on. There's going to be rehearsals. There'll be swimwear. There's creative costumes. There's evening wear costumes. You have to rehearse for all this. And Jasmine feels like, oh, I feel like in real life, I'm a queen and I want to collect as many crowns as possible. And then we see Gino just standing on the side like a dork videoing and watching the rehearsals like a real weirdo. And although it's not a bad idea.
No, it's smart. It's just Gino doing it. If he had maybe set up a tripod and then left the room, it would have been less creepy. But he is standing there with his hat on and that weird expression on his face. And he just looks like a pervert anyways.
I didn't see, the only other dudes I saw there were people looked like they were like judges. I didn't see anybody there that looked like a husband or a boyfriend or a manager or anything like that. No. This podcast is sponsored by Greenlight. When you're a parent, you'll have your fair share of big talks with your kids, and one of those big talks should involve money, and Greenlight can help with that. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families. You can send your kids instant money transfers, get real-time notifications of spending, manage their chores, and automate allowance. For me, that was the biggest thing with my kids. We set up chores, we set up an allowance, and it just made them feel really in charge, and they love to go to that app and see their money. You know what I mean? Like kids they love to feel like cool with their own card. It was amazing. But you know, your kids will also build financial literacy and independence by learning to earn, save, and spend wisely. We had our kids put half of whatever they earned into their savings, and while they didn't really like that, at the end of the week, they were glad to see what they'd saved. The Greenlight app also comes with an in-app financial literacy game called Level Up, and that'll help kids build money confidence through videos, bite-sized challenges, mini games, and more. Millions of parents and kids use Greenlight to learn how to make responsible financial choices. So stop putting off the money talk and start putting your kids on the right path. Sign up for the Greenlight Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/pinkshade. That's greenlight.com/pinkshade to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/pinkshade. So, he's standing on the side and videoing. And so, Walina, who was last year's winner, gives them pointers from what she saw. And she says to Jasmine, I think you need to interact more with the audience and you need to make your smile softer and be a little more graceful. And she's giving feedback to everyone and she's giving examples of you could change it this way. And I'm like, this is good feedback. It's all very good.
And she said it very nicely.
Yeah. Well, she's not just doing it just to the one person. She's doing it to a lot of people. And also that's nice because, don't just vote me out. Like, give me a chance, Okay, I'm acting like this is like a real thing. Okay, so they walk outside to chat after the rehearsal. And she says, what's wrong with this smile? And she does this like fake, like that.
It doesn't reach her eyes. It doesn't even reach her nose. It's what.
And he goes, it's a little fake. And so did you see the examples that the lady was giving? And so she tries again to like, do it softer. And he goes, yeah, and I think your posture needs to improve. And so I videotaped some of the other girls so you could see like what I'm talking about. So he shows her the videos, like, look at this one. Like she has great posture and see how she's interacting with the audience. Now look at the Haitian girl. She's got posture. Wow. Woo. So good. And then Gino in the talking head says, everyone here is better than I expected, and she really needs to step it up.
Yeah.
So in the talking heads, she goes, what's he doing? He's watching the other women? Like he thinks he could make me win because he was almost Mr. Michigan? But it's
was cute.
He was cute when he was younger. But it's giving pervert vibes. What, you going to use his videos for masturbation later? So she says, you're not the judge and you're not the jury and you're treating me like everyone else is better than me. I need your supporting, kind words only. And he's like, no, I'm just trying to like help you and tell you things I saw. And she's like, my husband pointed out who is better than me. Like I'm never enough. And now I feel more insecure. No tears.
Yeah.
No tears. I watched. I got close. No tears. She does a wipe. So it makes you think maybe there's tears, but
she's had a lot of work done. I'm wondering if it's like impeding her tear glands or it's all fake.
It's all fake. So, Angela and Michael, here we go. All right. Now, did you see this week when she said, call them all, kill them all, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Robert Durst.
Yeah. So they're fighting over the phone. Give me that phone. And he's saying, enough of that. I'm not giving you anything. And she says, kill them all. Of course. No, she says, call them all. Call the embassy. And he just, everybody at the embassy, call all the numbers at the embassy. They're waiting on my call. It's so much backward. Give me the phone. No, it's my phone. Get the phone. I won't give you the phone. It's my phone. And she's chain smoking. She never drops a cigarette. So then she's like, so then she takes a turn and says, now wait, now let him go. He's my husband. Okay, Michael, calm down. Calm down. Yeah. Everything's okay.
It's like I can physically abuse him, but no one else can.
This turn was wild.
He's still my husband. Let him go.
But even though I told you to grab him.
Right.
And so he says, give her the phone. Just give her the phone. And he walks off. So the producer says to Michael, where are you going to go? And he goes, I know where to go. Like, leave me alone. So he has no phone. He has no communication now.
He's going to go join Mahmoud.
He's just going to start circling the globe.
We're going to have like a trail of missing cast members. They're going to form some sort of like a stray dog pact, you know, where like a pack of dogs, just as they eventually come together and hunt as a pack. And it's people who have partners have been so horrible. They just wandered off without phones.
Yes. 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 That's right.
There have been other couples that have just disappeared.
They never
Yeah.
Never tell us.
Yeah.
Never tell us. So he says he knows where to go. Now I'm wondering, how does the production get in touch with him the next day and all of that? He has no phone.
Good
so I don't know if production has to like give him a phone or like take him to where he's going and be like, we'll pick you up tomorrow, you know. So Angela says, wow, I'm concerned about him. I've never seen him act like this. And I think we need a break right now, but I didn't get married for a long time for a reason. And because nobody would marry you. That's the
Yeah.
number one reason. And after the investment I put into the marriage and the love I have given him, it's so embarrassing trying to trust him over and over when I find out he lies.
That's what's embarrassing.
I'm
It's not
concerned about him. I've never seen him act like that. Well, he's acting like that because you're a lunatic.
you can't poke can't poke a bear for 7 years, not expect them to finally claw you.
Right.
B, that's what's embarrassing, but
Mhm.
not you ripping apart his car in the middle of a quiet village in the middle of the night with your raw menopause strength, screaming, "I'm an American! Arrest him!" That's not embarrassing. Constantly having things falling out of your boobs, including your boobs, that's not embarrassing.
Oh my God,
Flirting with
Kimberly.
every married doctor who has ever tried to professionally examine you, that's not embarrassing. Starting
Kimberly,
fights on every reunion, that's not embarrassing.
Kimberly, it's a 1-hour show.
Shoving a cake in his face,
Mhm.
that wasn't embarrassing.
You can't manipulate me with cake. All right. So, okay. So Angel says she's concerned about him, which is LOL. And he's walking and he's saying, enough is enough. Let her pull that visa. I don't care. I am a person who hardly ever gets angry, but enough is enough, please. All she thinks about is I'm after the visa. I'm not hiding anything. Let her check. Let her check my phone. And he's crying on the side of the road with his suitcases. It's very sad.
Was he crying or was he sweaty? Or was it
Well,
both?
it appeared to me he was crying, but he's always sweating. So
Yeah, but he was even more sweaty than I've ever seen him.
we had some real sweaty situation on inmate to roommate this week. That guy
Oh,
Veda, the man and they are the roommates, not the inmate.
I
Veda and
was
Annalisa. Holy cow, he's sweating this week. I mean, pouring down his head like
I feel that. I have
oh
that
wow.
too.
Wow. Okay. So in the talking head, he says, all she does is say I'm shady and I'm just tired of it. Like I'm over it. So now we're the next day and she's just lying up in her bed, like, like Meemaw does, lying up in her bed with her cigarettes and her whiskey. And she said, maybe that's just my grandma. Um, and she says, yesterday was a nightmare. It's hard to believe a man I was with for 7 years could be so low and dirty. And to be honest, I'd never seen Michael so upset. He gave me his phone back and poof, he was gone. Maybe he's scared I'll turn him in. Or maybe I
For
really
what?
or maybe I really upset him. Yeah, you really upset him. You're horrible.
Also, once again, he gave you the phone. That's the second time he's given you the phone. So
Yeah.
maybe he's not hiding anything on the phone.
He just said, give it to her and walked out. I was like, I don't give a fuck at this point. So now we see 3 hours later, and he says, last night I was so furious and I went to stay at another place. I don't want to lose my wife and I want a chance to just express myself so we can understand each other and move on. Like, I just want to be able to say what happened and have someone listen and not talk over me and yell at me and dive for the phone and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to her hotel room or whatever this place is. And she says, she answers the door and she goes, Michael, I'm so tired. I'm ready to listen to you. Wow. That's been the
what it
key.
takes.
Wear her completely out and then she'll listen.
Just age.
Yeah. It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
She's tired. She's exhausted. And she said, Michael, why are you in that group? Innocent or not, it makes you look bad. And he says, here's the breakdown. I want us to be together as soon as possible. So I'm in the group to gather information and it's not about money. And she goes, Michael, what about that picture of the money? And then he explains it was for his portable Wi-Fi. Remember, he had the guy at the airport was going to have to send it to the house and it cost $8,000 to do that. And she goes, where did you get $8,000? And he goes, no, 8,000 naira, which is
Why would she think it would cost $8,000?
you could just buy 50 Wi-Fi boxes for that. I mean, I looked that up. 8,000 naira is $5.17
That sounds much more reasonable
for shipping.
and
Yeah.
much more likely. Yes.
And she says, see, that was so easy to explain, but I just always think the worst because of all the shady shit you done. Michael, why was there a picture of an older woman in that chat that said she need a husband day? And he goes, I don't know. It was a joke, but I was not online in the chat at the time and I would have erased it. And she goes, what about life insurance? You're Googling life insurance. And he says, I don't know. Maybe it was an ad. I have no idea. I'd not Googled life insurance. It was an ad. All of this sounds believable, but he's had some time to get his story straight also.
But he was very calm when she asked him about it the other day, too.
Yeah. He's like, let me
Until he
explain to
reached for
you.
the phone.
Yeah, let me explain to you. He's trying to explain to her about the money, which someone has told us is very common in African countries. They don't trust the banks, so they have a person or whatever. So she says, Michael, you got to understand how this makes me feel. I don't have balls. I have hormones. Women are different emotionally, Michael.
Does she have hormones?
I don't know. I don't. I'm past it.
I mean, you still have some hormones.
I mean,
but
yeah.
Is she on hormone replacement therapy?
No, definitely not. She'd be way calmer if she was. No, she'd be way calmer. So he says, listen, I don't express myself very much, but I do mentally and physically shut down and I get depressed. And in this group, most people in this group have fallen into depression because this process takes years. And I sit at home and I'm lonely. I'm tired of being alone. I'm always at home and I don't go anywhere. And then she says, well, I feel not loved, but she says it's nice to hear that he actually feels lonely for her. He didn't say that.
He did not say for her.
He said, I feel lonely because you've kept me in my home and I'm not allowed to leave or have a job.
Or is he allowed to be friends with the goofballs?
Probably not. He has to do that under cover of night.
And also she has to make it about her. And she's like, well, I'm lonely too, but I'm not on a group chat. I'm like, you have 17 grandchildren living in your home.
Yeah.
And that guy who had diabetes or liver failure or whatever that she was slow dancing with all the time. So that was her form of a chat group.
Yeah. Yes.
Making TikToks with that guy.
Yeah. That guy. I hope he's still alive.
I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay. But I mean,
I didn't mean to mock his health concerns.
No. But brother,
he did need like a kidney or something.
I know. He hitched his horse to the wrong wagon. So she says, so he says, I want to be there with you. I want to be the man in your life. I want to be the man of the house. And that's it. And she says, well, I ain't made a decision and I'm not holding it over your head, but you can sleep in the bed tonight because Meemaw still got to get some. You know what I'm saying? So he gets in the bed and kind of snuggles her up and she has her eyes closed and he's kind of doing like a smirky smile, like, I won.
But really, would you be smiling if you just had to get in a bed with Angela?
If she was my wife and I loved her, yes.
Right.
But
if you were scamming her, could you even force a smile?
Yes, because it's almost over.
Gotta put my dues in.
So in the talking head, she says, my heart is telling me to stay, but my mind is telling me to go. And I won't be manipulated. So I'm trying to figure it out. He's lied so much. It's not my fault that I don't trust him. And if I don't do the visa, it'll be like ripping the last chapter out of a book and you won't know the ending. Now, somebody told her that. She did not come up with that on her own.
She doesn't read.
She didn't read a book. And also, you remember a couple of weeks ago, she said, I loved him for 7 years and I can leave him for 7 more. That's not a person who says what she just said. So that's not the same metaphor.
No.
Okay, let's talk about Patrick and Thais and John.
Boy.
Yeah. And the calling of the whore and all that.
Yeah, it's post. Well, it's pre-throwing, but post. That's they take us right to that moment where it's post whore, pre-throwing drink.
Okay,
she throws the drink.
He's still dry when we start.
He's still dry, but then he gets wet, and he says, "Son of a bitch! I just bought this shirt." He's very mad, and John says, I have to defend myself and I have to defend Patrick. And I don't know that many words in Portuguese, which,
he only knows the curse words.
He only knows the curse words.
Yeah.
And that's what we would expect. That checks out.
And
the friend leaves like upset and Thais is trying to comfort her.
Mhm.
Like the friend is the victim in this situation.
She, like, chases her down the street.
Like it was wild. I don't say it's okay to call a woman that. It's not
No.
okay. But she s- came to this restaurant to start a war,
Yeah.
and then she got a war.
Mhm. Yeah, and she was very much, trying to get her 15 minutes of fame. She was trying to get
Yeah.
her screen time. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't stay. So
Mhm.
Thais comes back and she says, men are respectful in Brazil. You're not supposed to call a woman that. Well, of course not. But again, the friend called John a bad influence, said that he was encouraging Patrick to cheat on Thais,
Mhm.
called him an asshole and a
Mhm.
bad person.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
So he pulled out the only bad
Bad
word
word
that
he
he
knows.
knew. Yeah.
Yeah. So you poke the bear again. It's just like poor Michael. You poke the bear, you're gonna get the horns. I know that's not right. Whatever the expression is.
Mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Also, Patrick and John might be two of the only men on 90 Day that I would choose to be in the woods with besides a bear, because
You trust them.
I do trust them.
I trust them
Maybe
too.
that's a mistake, but I don't think they have any records of suspicious, creepy behavior
Not to our knowledge, and maybe
besides cheating on the Olympics with steroids.
well, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, but that is not against a woman per se.
Right. That's just against himself.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
And the whole sport. But
Mhm.
so Thais is of course furious with them. Patrick is defending his brother, which makes her even more mad. And she explains Natalie, her friend, has been cheated on before and doesn't want that to happen to Thais.
Okay.
Even though Patrick, that's fair. Again, I don't love when people take their traumas out on other people on the show.
It's like, who amongst us hasn't been cheated on? Come on now.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
accusing every man of being a cheater
Right.
when Patrick has done nothing to warrant that,
Nope.
except he kissed a girl. Let's just go over it. He kissed a girl
Mhm.
when he and Thais were casually dating
Mhm.
on opposite sides of the not the
World.
world, but the opposite sides of
Equator.
the equator.
Uh-huh.
And they were not exclusive. He was drunk at a party and he kissed a girl and he told her about it the next day
Mhm.
before they
So
were exclusive. That
they
is what he has done.
yeah.
What has Thais been telling this friend? Like it
I don't know, did she see it on TV and she thought, 3 seasons later and she thought he
right.
was a jerk and he wasn't, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I did like, though, John's comment, which was, what did he say? He said, "If you m if you, poke the bear, the big bad wolf will blow your house down."
Yeah, he
Yeah,
says they're on their talking head with the three of them on that
so
couch
funny.
and they're so
Mhm.
crowded. And John says, "Don't cry me a river when they start trouble and the big bad wolf blows their house down." And then he burps. And then Patrick says, "You crossed the line with that one." And then John goes, "Manners."
And Thais is just over there going, she always has that
Best expressions. She
best
has the best
expression. She's
expressions
so
on the show.
good.
Yeah. So
Um,
no resolution. I don't know what she was expecting Patrick to like flip the table and yell at John. I mean, John was sticking up for him
yeah.
and himself. That
Yeah.
girl was horrible.
She was horrible. Where did the other friends go? Remember, they just scattered. Yeah. They were like, "Oh, we don't wanna get called that, so we're gonna
Well, but
leave."
then they're talking. They're like, she left, blah blah blah, and then Patrick goes, "The other one was nice."
The other
The
one
other
that
one
didn't
didn't
speak at
say
all.
a word because the mean friend just took control of the situation the second they sat down.
Yeah. I wonder if TLC was giving them free drinks. That's what made her. All right, y'all know how much I love Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Tropical Smoothie Cafe believes you deserve a getaway every day, not just once a year, and I can't quit talking about those summer mocktail smoothies. You guys, I went and got one last week for National Smoothie Day. It was so freaking good. I got the Mango Berry Cosmos Smoothie, and here's a hot tip. I also put in some coconut with mine because that's what I love. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. I got myself a turkey bacon ranch sandwich. That's my favorite, but they also have that acai bowl that's so good. My daughter loves the watermelon mojito smoothie. It's so good. You guys grab one and go outside to the pool because it is hot out there. So you want to make sure to check your app and go to your closest tropical smoothie cafe. They have over 1,400 locations. You can order online or through their app. Tropical smoothie, you're on tropic time now.
I feel like this scene could have been way longer. Like that whole thing. There was no buildup. They were there for 5 minutes before a drink was thrown.
Yeah.
And then the friends were just gone.
Yeah.
They could have stretched that out into like 4 episodes.
I mean, for sure.
I love it as much John as I can get.
I know, me too. Okay, Emily and Kobe.
How about
So it's a wedding day and her hair and makeup people arrive and she says she wants to look as traditional as possible. She wants it to be perfect. She explains how she wants her hair to look. And she says they won't see each other before the ceremony. And she's so excited and she knows it's going to be so hot.
They are the horniest couple for each other.
They're so hot for each other. And she says her hair is super heavy on her head and she loves it. It was giving Teresa Giudice of New Jersey. Not quite as bad, but almost.
I think that lady added more hair too.
I know. And she's got so much hair.
So much. And they added more. Yeah.
Yeah. I think to make it higher. And so she tells her mom that, no, we didn't meet with the ex, but I did find out that he didn't break up with the ex until after I was pregnant. And mom's like, oh, she goes, whatever. We're married. We have 2 kids, 3 after this trip. And the past is the past. And she has no idea if his friends are coming to the wedding. And that's upsetting. So in the talking head, he says, this is a great day in our culture. I'm so happy to have the blessing of the parents. And he says, so this for us, this is like kind of like a vow renewal. And his dad says to him, you're an honorable man. I'm very proud of you. And they hug. And dad says, where is your friend Valerie? Like, I want to see him. And he says, well, my friends think Emily doesn't respect me and treat me like an African man. And I've told them flat out, this is my wife. And if they can't respect her, then they should not come. But it's very sad for me. And that is sad.
It is
sad.
And the dad, did you get what he said?
Uh-uh.
He goes, I feel like God is in control.
Oh.
And Kobe is like, that, okay, that's helpful.
Okay.
Well, I guess helps this big dilemma I have.
Right. So I guess that's that. And we'll just see what happens.
But the dad is so sweet. He really is.
Very sweet. Very sweet. So now it's nighttime. And a bunch of ladies, these are his sisters. He's got a lot of sisters. The sisters come over.
Aren't there like 8? How many kids are there in that family?
I think he's 10. I think there's 10 or 11. Yeah. And the traditional dress come over and they all get Emily and it's very cute. And she's like, oh, I'm so excited. They're all coming to get me. And they're all like, hooping and hollering and dancing. And Kobe says, excuse me. Woo!
Part, I'll interrupt while Mary's pain is coughing right now.
Go ahead. Yes.
Flat shoes, sandals. Emily's wearing sandals to her wedding.
That's amazing.
That's brilliant.
Brilliant. Kobe says an American wedding versus a Cameroonian wedding is no comparison. And he talks about the weddings. He says, there's no vows or anything like that. It's just about a party. And it's just about the family's blessings and having a happy life. I wonder if there's any paperwork involved or it's just, say you're married.
Anything.
Yeah.
Or anything that, I mean, there was a ceremony, but it was more like there was an order of events of things that happened.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. There was no officiant. There was an MC.
Right. Like, what? So it does seem like a super fun party, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was heartwarming too.
Yes, it was great. And he says it's just about the family giving the blessings and having a happy life. So Kobe enters and he's holding this thing over his shoulder. And I didn't know what it was, but he tells us it's a cow tail. And he says that normally only like royalty or very rich people could afford the cow tail. That would mean something. But now if you can buy one, you can buy one. Anybody can have one. It's not special anymore. So he thought it looked good.
They're
with this
mass
outfit.
producing these things.
Yeah, yeah. So he thought it looked good with this outfit.
Yeah.
So he wore it. And he said he's so happy to see his family. He's got so many members of his family who he hasn't seen in forever. And he is sad that his friends aren't there. Now,
I was pissed. I was very pissed.
They should have been there for the beginning part with the ceremonial things,
They
not
missed
just to come to make a speech at the end.
they missed like so much heartwarming stuff. And
Yeah.
when he walked in and is looking for people, he noticed that they
Yeah.
weren't there, and that was really sad.
Yeah, I agree. So now Emily is coming in and she's dancing and everything. And he says, watching Emily dancing, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. It's so sweet. They're very hot for each other.
Yeah.
And Kobe tells us how it goes. So she goes and gets palm wine from the groom's dad. And then she has to walk around and find Kobe and then give it to him. And then he drinks it. And I guess that means they're married.
Like
I
a
don't
game
know.
of hide and seek. I love it.
Yeah. It's like, Kobe, hide behind me. And then we see Coben in this shot, the little boy, and he looks like he's crying and a producer's holding him because it's like they're trying to get the shot of them doing this traditional stuff. And the producer's like, get out of the way, kid. Now David gives a speech and does a prayer. And then he says, like, all my blessings on you with this, like a house and this. And he's like, gonna have a big house soon. It'd be great.
Before more children.
Before more children. And then David and Lisa talk out front to the production and they go, it was so cool. Like, we've had the best time here. This was really neat. And we've done so much in 2 weeks and it's been great. And then
David watched YouTube videos.
Yeah, because he wanted to make sure he did the blessing and everything correctly.
How cute is that?
Yeah. So I think that's where he got I'm blessing you with children in a big house. Like he got the words from that.
Very cute.
Now, Kobe and Emily are out front talking, and she says, one more kiss, because I love you. And he goes, oh, okay. And they kiss, and she goes, and we're going to fuck tonight hard. I was like, God. And he's like, oh, she's so funny. I was like, jeez.
And yet they've never, that we've known about, done it in a cafe bathroom on camera.
No.
Manuel and Ashley.
Yes, that's right. They have, yeah.
They talk about it, but they don't do it. In public, as far as we know.
Yeah, I think Emily had a lot of drinks on this trip. I think it was like a last hurrah, and then she got home, found out she was pregnant. Was like, well, now it's over for 9 months. So Valerie arrives. Okay, Valerie is wearing like a little crown that you would see, like if you drew like what a crown would look like a British crown, like red with gold.
Mm-hmm.
Little tiny crown. And Kobe's dad gives a very nice speech. And Valerie's also holding a cane. They're just really accessorizing, which I like it.
They sauntered in like old school pimps.
Yeah, like with the cane swinging it around. Yeah. And he gets up to give a speech. And then he says, I did worry that this white lady in our culture would not be able to make our brother happy. Dun, dun, so we don't know what happens with him until next week, but we know how Matt Sharp works and can guarantee you it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Sophie and Rob. Okay. Now Claire, out of the blue, is trying to act nice to Rob.
She's trying to apologize for that shirt that she's wearing.
No apologies is going to make it right.
No.
None. So also she's got crutches. So she's got all that fabric bunched in her armpit with crutches.
Okay, so I thought when they were at the bar last week that she had one of those boots. Like if you hurt your ankle.
Uh-huh.
Did she not? Because this week she has a knee brace. So I think I'm very suspicious. I'm looking for a conspiracy here.
You think it's an insurance scam?
That wasn't what I was thinking, but that's 1000% correct.
Okay.
Yes, you are. So it's either a scam for prescription meds or an insurance scam. 100%.
I felt like when we saw her at Kay's apartment, she had like a brace, but it was like covered her foot all the way like past her knee.
Okay, so maybe someone let us know.
Yeah,
maybe I'll go back to when they were at the bar.
Yeah,
and see exactly. I thought it was one of those ankle boots that go up to your like mid calf, but
whatever she did, it was to her knee.
Okay.
She said that in Kay's apartment about the car accident and the guy not having any money for insurance and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is she the guy that didn't have any money for insurance?
Okay. So Claire says to Rob, normally when she leaves and goes to her friends, it just seems like you two go in a circle. And he goes, yeah, it's just the same thing over and over. And Claire goes, I've told her just to sit and be still, and in the quiet, you could find the answers. And by the way, I had nothing to do with this decision.
This woman has balls of steel.
But I did decide to wear this shirt, and for that, I should be given a fine by the state of Texas. And he goes,
See, she has nothing to do with this.
she said, I had nothing to do with this decision.
It's all on tape.
We just saw you in that cafe where you didn't know
Roll
what
the
grits were.
footage.
Yeah. And he goes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he says, once again, Sophie's going to run off to Kay's, and she spent so much time away, and now she wants to do some soul searching. Like, I don't really believe she's going to weigh the pros and cons. She's not going to do that. She's just going to enjoy being out of here and then decide if she wants to come home. And I just don't deserve to be with somebody like that. So Claire says, I know you're sad, and she's sad too, but there's two sides to every story. And he goes, I'm sad because my wife keeps leaving, and I don't believe that she or you have ever thought about my side.
No.
And she just looks at him. He goes, to be clear, Sophie has always been taken care of. And she goes, no. When you lived in LA, she would call me and say she's starving and ask me to send her some food. And you would go crazy if she ate one of your cereal bars.
Oh my God.
And he says, okay, look, I'm like crazy because the only thing I have to eat at 7 a.m. to grab on my way to work is these bars. And she was saying I got mad telling her what she could and couldn't eat. But my reasoning was just don't eat that one thing that I eat on the way out the door. Just be considerate because it's an easy thing for me to grab on the way out the door to work. So I was
Since
like,
when did he have a job?
I think he's always had some kind of little job.
He really should have made that more clear because we made plenty of fun of him for not having a job.
But I am on his side here because I'm real weird about people eating my food. And if I made
it was so rude. Also, like, if that's the one thing he eats for breakfast on the way to work, don't eat
don't
that.
eat it.
But also buy several boxes of it so that she can have some.
This is your box. This is my box. I'm gonna eat on the way out the door. I don't care what you do with that other box.
Yeah. There's many solutions to this.
Yeah. And so she comes in and goes, are you talking about the granola bars? You're always pissed off at something. And he goes, I'm not pissed off. I'm calm, having a conversation with your mom about it. And in the talking head, he goes to two of them together. He goes, I just asked you not to eat the whole box because that's what I take to work. And she goes, but if I want to eat the whole box, I should be able to do that.
Okay, no, you sound like a spoiled brat, Sophie.
No, you shouldn't be able to do that because he's explained this is the one thing he grabs for breakfast on the way out the door because it's early.
And Claire never says, that's my fault. I brought up the granola bar.
No, no. So now they argue, and she says she cried 3 times the day before, and the dinner was so bad with my mother. And he says, here's what you need to reflect on. If I am someone as a person that you could be with without being pissed off all the time, okay? And she goes, okay. And he goes, truly, because you're always walking away. And in the talking head, he said, she's leaving again. It's ridiculous. I'm not perfect, but it feels like there are things she needs me to change that are my actual personality. And I can't do that. It's a roller coaster. And she just whips me around.
You could try, Rob.
You could try.
You could maybe try to change some parts of your personality.
Some parts of your personality.
You could just listen to this podcast, and we've given you plenty of suggestions.
Don't listen to this podcast and then DM me. I can't take it. So he follows her out and he says, I've listened to you and I've listened to you and I've told you I'm sorry. And she goes, I'm about to leave you and you're still talking about what I need to do. You should be like, what the fuck can I do so you don't leave? And he goes, all right, tell me, what do I need to do so you don't leave? And she goes, well, you really need to reflect on what you can do to show me you've changed and be accountable about this whole thing. Now she picks up her squishmallow to indicate her emotions.
I can't. You've just lost all credibility.
She holds up the squishmallow with the smiley face because this could be me happy. And she flips it to the sad. I should have brought my daughters in here to show you the ones that are happy and sad. And then she flips it over to it sad. She goes, oh, this is going to be me if I stay with you and everything's the same. And he just looks at her like, oh my God. And she goes, anything else you need to say to me? Because I'm going to leave. And he says, I love you.
Honestly, if I was Rob, it would actually make me feel like a pervert if that I was dating this
Yeah.
woman child who acts and talks like a baby and is doing this squishy mallow, whatever it's called. This is where you hurt me on the doll, and this is me with sad face. What are you doing?
It's just like
I
on
would feel like a creep.
90 Day Love in Paradise and Luke and Madeline, and she's 19, and
And
she'll
she
do
looks
something,
15.
and he'll go, "This is some real teenager behavior." I'm like, "She's a teenager." There you go. If you're gonna marry a teenager, you're gonna get a girl who wants a 6-foot unicorn in her bedroom. Okay.
Mhm.
And so he says, "Well, I love you," and she says, "I love you too," and she hugs him, and then she says, "Stop pissing me off, or I'm not coming back." Now the whole time we see Claire like lurking behind the the gutters. She's like, "Mm."
Let her
And then,
sit down.
oh my, no, don't let her sit down. So, as she's walking off with her mom, he says, "I must be married to the both of them."
Yeah.
And the talking head, he says, "We are committed and we are married, and I'm giving it everything I can. And if she can't see that, then I'm going to have to start thinking about what life might be like without her." And he's right.
Yeah. And also she needs to make a freaking decision.
Yeah. I think she just likes to go to Kay's. I think
I think she just likes to
Kay's
go.
is nicer. And
I also think she's addicted to the drama, and that's probably because of the way she was raised.
yeah.
If you grow up in that sort of chaotic trauma situation, then that's all you ever know. So
Yeah.
sometimes she likes the fighting and she wants the romance, the like fairy tale. Why don't you sweep me off your feet and
Yeah.
meet my feet and save me and blah blah blah. Again, she didn't seem very appreciative when he did that airport dance, and that was the most romantic you're going to get from this man.
But like, when did she dye her hair brown so they had the reunion for the last show they were on?
Yeah, great. I'm still confused about the timeline.
God. All right, let's go to Loren and Alexei. First of all, you were right. Alex's dad is Israeli and Ukrainian.
I think I said Russian though.
Okay, well, Ukraine used to be a part of Russia. Maybe it is currently. We're not sure.
No, it's not.
No, it's not currently. Russia's trying to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Alexei's dad, Alex, is leaving, and he is. Is he speaking Hebrew?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He is telling Shai that he's leaving, and Shai's like, "Number one, I don't speak Hebrew, and number two, I'm watching TV."
I know, I love that.
So, but he's like leaning over trying to talk to him. The kid's like got like a lollipop in his mouth, like,
Yeah.
brother. And so then it's probably Shai because he's older. He says, "Where is Saba going?" And he says, "I want to go on the Saba airplane," which was cute. And Saba is very sweetly hugging everybody and saying goodbye. And all the kids wave bye-bye as Alex leaves to take him. I wrote to the hospital, but in fact, he's going to the airport.
Yes.
It would be terrible if Saba was going to the hospital. He's going to the airport.
He seems very sweet.
But obviously, not without getting into anything, it's very hard for them to let him go because no one is sure that his town is safe to live in currently because there's a war in the country that he lives in.
Mm-hmm.
So in his talking head, he says, "It's hard for me to leave my grandkids, my son and my daughter-in-law and everything. It's hard." And he cries. And I say, "It's okay, Saba.
It's okay, Saba, don't cry.
Don't cry." So
this is very sad.
It was sad because he's been there for like a month.
That war has on everyone.
Yes, it's terrible.
On both sides. And yeah, but here's what's really weird.
Yeah.
Because this is what I noticed. He drives off with Saba to the airport. Loren is in the parking lot of their apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
She has a double side-by-side stroller with 2 kids in it and a single stroller with the third child in it. How is she going to get them all upstairs?
You can push 2 strollers at once.
A double and a single?
Yeah. I think she's literally just going to push him back to the door of the apartment. Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. And if you have sensitive skin, you're going to want to hear about their scientifically proven topical supplements. free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make your skin red, irritated, or itchy. Their products are safe for sensitive skin. It's just one of the reasons they've earned the Skin Safe seal of approval. I was watching this week's 90 Day Fiance, y'all, and I was thinking Jasmine would really love OneSkin. She seems to love some beauty products, and I bet she would love these products because remember when she told Gino he was fat because he ate so much processed food with chemicals and preservatives? Well, these products are free from chemicals and preservatives, so they're perfect for her. I don't know, maybe Gino too. I have sensitive skin, and it can be hard to find a product that doesn't cause irritation for real. The OneSkin products are formulated with soothing ingredients and natural antioxidants. Plus, they're gentle enough to use every day, even if you have sensitive skin. I love the eye cream and the face cream. I literally use them every single day. You just wash your face and apply, and you can use other products that you like, no problem. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin for 15% off using the code PINKSHADE when you check out at oneskin.co. Give your skin the scientifically proven gentle care it deserves with OneSkin. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code PINKSHADE at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code PINKSHADE. And after you purchase, they'll say, hey, where did you hear about OneSkin? And please tell them you heard it here. Thanks.
Well, moms continue to impress me because I couldn't do it. That's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, all right. So, oh my gosh, they hug. Alex and his dad are hugging and saying, we will talk every day. And they're both going, everything will be okay. And he's saying, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. And the talking head, Alex, says, I'm feeling sad. My father is leaving. There's a war over there. I'm stuck here. Ukraine is at war. Israel is at war. And here I am in Florida living the life. And I wonder how come I got so lucky. And I don't even know when I'll see my dad again. I hope the war is over soon and we can get back together. So it's very sad. It's very sad.
Although I don't know if I would call living the life being trapped in that apartment with Loren recovering from surgery and 3 very small children.
Yeah, I think that's probably not the life, but maybe once everybody's healed up and feeling good, that'll be. And I know that they have bought a house, so yeah.
But I feel like those children don't get out a lot. I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do.
Outside.
I think she's like super mom.
That's a high rise. It seems just like an ordeal to get the kids even down the elevator.
Yeah. You got to load up all the strollers.
Yeah.
You got to stack them up three in a row.
I know people live like that every day.
Of course.
Big cities, but
I don't know if you read Jim Gaffigan's book called Dad is Fat.
No.
It's funny, but the reason that's what it's called is because one time his son drew a picture of the family, and then he has like 6 kids, and drew a picture of the family, and everybody's in the picture, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, tell me who's who in the picture." And like the 5-year-old's like, this is mom, this is my 28 siblings, this is the dog, and this is dad. And they said, "Oh, which one's dad?" "This was dad. Dad's fat." Dad is fat. And so this Dad is Fat is the joke. That's the book. The book is really good because he explains how they live in a 2-bedroom apartment in New York City with 5 kids.
Jesus.
Yeah. So basically 4 kids in one room, double bunk beds, and whoever was the baby. I think they actually may have had a 1-bedroom apartment, and he and his wife slept on the pullout.
I mean, a lot of people live like that in this world, but
he's a famous comedian with money.
Money.
Yeah. But at the time, he didn't. Yeah. Anyway, that book is really good. Dad is Fat. Okay. So, we're ending with Ashley and Manuel because my voice needs a break and you're coughing. So, oh my goodness, you guys, it's a cough, sneeze, yawnathon today. I can't hear you, girl. You got your mute on. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad it worked because I thought it didn't.
It worked.
I thought last time I tried to mute myself to cough, it didn't work. And you were like, I can still hear you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the funniest thing is Amy and I have recorded before where I will be like, and I'll do like this to her, like keep talking. And I'll be like, she goes, you didn't mute. You just told me to keep talking. And then you coughed. I was like, oh, I've only been doing this.
Big juicy sneeze right in the mic.
I've only been doing this 6 years, guys. Yeah. One day I'll figure it out. Let's end with Ashley and Manuel.
Okay.
Wow. These two. Wow.
So she's using this tiny little cauldron Did you see it was very cute? Baby cauldron to sage the whole house or something. I don't know what it was.
He
And
said it. He
how
said it stunk.
Panto, yeah.
Yeah.
And even little Rico mother effing suave, she is saging. And that dog is like, what did I do to deserve this? My vibes are great. That dog is.
It's weird that her dog's name is Rico Suave. It seems like it would be like Hermione or something. I mean, it would be Harry Potter.
It
She's
does
something.
seem like a dated reference and
Yes.
not on her brand for her.
Yeah. Interesting.
Especially if she has this business and,
Yeah.
she would be like, oh, and this is my spiritual advisor, Dumbledore.
Minerva.
Yeah. So, but seriously, Rico Suave, that Yorkie did not deserve to be saged. He's been a perfect gentleman this whole time.
No, he's old. He doesn't need that.
So Manuel complains about the smell and says it smells like Rico Suave hasn't had a bath. And again, that poor dog has done nothing to deserve
I know.
to live in this house.
I know. Poor Rico.
That dog is going to run away. I would. So she sages Manuel and says his energy is bad. And she says his energy is messing with her energy. And I was like, which we all saw your energy before he even got on the plane to come here.
Mm-hmm.
You were having a panic attack on the freeway.
We've seen your energy, girl.
It was effed.
Yep.
So you were ugly crying.
I am ugly crying.
Crying right now. My makeup, I'm ugly crying. I'm literally having a panic attack. I legit cannot breathe right now.
It's funny every time.
He starts heating water in the most rusted pot I've ever seen. Like tarnished.
I didn't look at that. Ew.
It was very tarnished. I think you'd use vinegar or something to get rid of that. Not sure.
It would be
it's not rust, it's tarnished.
It would be El Basura in the trash.
Okay.
Isn't that the word El Basura?
Yeah,
Basura. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he is heating water for something and she wants to know why he needs the money for his family. And he says, where I'm from, you just help family. You don't ask a lot of questions first, which I can understand that. Some families are like that. Yeah. But again, it's her money. So she should have some say in if there are questions to be asked. And she says, I gave you money and you changed your bank password. And that makes me not trust you. It's the first time we're hearing about this. And he says, you knew my password. When you knew my password, you would spend and take money out of it. And I would go and check the balance and there would be like $30 left. Well, again, it's her money probably.
But wait, he's been in this United States for 1 year.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he has his own bank account.
Okay. And is that his sweet, sweet Matt Sharp money in that account? That's his Matt Sharp money goes into his own account. And does he have a job? And if so, why not? If not, why not?
Is he still not gotten his work permit? Can he get paid from Matt Sharp until he gets his work permit?
Because after 3 months, you get your work permit after 3 months.
I thought it varies when it comes in the mail. It's not like it's that time.
It's like you're not allowed to work for 3 months. It might be 6. Either way, he's past it and he should be working. Yeah. But I think he's getting his sweet, sweet Matt Sharp money, even if she gets paid double and then supposed to give him half of his half or whatever. That's what I think the account is. But then she's like, oh, well, whatever. It's mi dinero, su dinero. I'll take it. God, my Spanish is on fuego today.
Like the Fuego Cafe.
That's right.
Where El Baño saw some terrible, terrible things that day. Yes, so she says, so he changed the password on her, which this is all very toxic. And she says, the fact that he's calling me irresponsible with money is laughable. This is America, honey. You have to work hard for that dollar. And I provide everything for him. It's like, I'm sure people work hard where he's from too.
I'm sure they do. It seems that they do. It seems that he wants to work hard. That's why I want to know if he has a job.
Yeah. So he says, look, if you're not going to help me with money, I'll find another way. I'll even go back to Ecuador to help my family. So like Mahmoud. I love these threats. That would go on the bingo card. Threats
Mhm.
to go
Mhm.
home.
Yeah.
So this sends Ashley on a full-on spiral, and she has to leave the house because she's like, when he threatens to leave me, it triggers my trauma response.
Mhm.
Not to make fun of her trauma response, but have you worked on your trauma response at all besides spells?
Her go-to is to flee the scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or have a panic attack.
Or have a panic attack if she's driving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you got to work on your shit, people.
Yeah. You do. Yeah.
Like
That's it.
can't use that as an excuse forever. But I understand she had something horrible happen with her dad. Like I totally understand. You may never get over that, but you can work on it and not let it affect your marriage. 100% though, he is super shady.
What happened with her dad? He left?
He was kept from her by the mom, or like the
Ah.
mom didn't know who the dad was, and then when she found out, she didn't really get to know him as a person because he unalived himself, I believe,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
before
Uh-huh.
they could like really bond and get to know each other.
Very similar thing happened to Eddie Vedder.
Oh,
Sidebar. Yeah, the guy that his mom said was the song "Alive" is about that. His when he found out who his real dad was, not the guy that he'd been told was his dad. When he found out who his real dad was, the guy had died. But he was
that's
like a
rough.
very well-known like local musician, and
Oh
so
wow.
Eddie could have really like bonded with him. And he
And
always
he
knew the guy that mom said was his dad. It's like there's no way I'm related to that guy. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
And he channeled that pain into music.
Yes, he did. He's probably had a lot of therapy.
Uh-huh. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
presume to know much
I
about Eddie Vedder, but I would assume
I do presume to know a lot about Eddie
good.
Vedder.
Again, not blaming anyone for their trauma, but you do have to like take some ownership and work on it, I feel like.
Yeah.
But also Manuel is very shady with money. Like there's no
Yes.
denying that too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so she goes to see her poor long-suffering sister. God bless this woman. Although she's kind of enabling it at this point because she really does ask Ashley what's happening every time. Don't
Well,
ask.
it's
What's
the
going on? Don't ask that question.
this is why they're filming the scene because the production told them. So let's
Yeah.
just remember that. Yes.
They go to a bakery because tomorrow is Manuel's birthday and she ordered him a cake with her money.
Of course, with her
And
money.
so she asked the lady if she can change the wording on the cake to FU. And the
Right.
lady's like, oh, I did not want to be involved in this, but we have a 48-hour policy, which is kind of BS because she said they were still in the back working on the cake. So
The
I don't
last
know.
thing you do is the words.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
think that was not right.
I agree.
So also, if she doesn't smash that cake in his face, then I will be very disappointed.
I hope she doesn't. That's a waste of cake.
It is, but like, has she, like, that's what the show is for.
Okay. All right.
Later, she's holding a bottle of water and she doesn't pour it on his head. And I was like, has she learned nothing from Angela and baby girl Kimberly?
Listen, we don't advocate for violence. We had violence on Real Housewives of New Jersey this week. It was upsetting.
Really? What kind of violence?
Oh my gosh. Well, the new girl Danielle with the blonde hair, she's real Jersey, Danielle. She was talking to Jen Aiden and she was like, "You're a dirt bag. You're a dirt bag." And Jen Aiden just both hands, boom, pushed her.
Not okay.
And guess what Danielle did with her glass on the side of the head?
No, that's taking it up a notch.
But Jen Aiden
I
kept
was
going,
saying water from
yeah.
a water bottle.
Jen Aiden was like, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm totally fine." Like she was very unbothered by being whacked in the side of that head with
This
a
has happened before, probably.
yes. She's like, whatever. Her husband came out and was like, "Did it get physical?" And she's like, "Whatever." And they were like, "You pushed her." She's like, "Did I? I'm not really sure what
This
happened."
is a normal Thursday
Yeah,
in
I don't,
Jersey. Sorry,
if
Jersey.
I pushed her, I don't remember.
Apologies to Jersey. So
There's 2 cameras on you and 400 witnesses. You pushed her.
you pushed her.
Yeah.
So she tells her sister everything that's going on and how he said he was going to go back to Ecuador, and they're really ruining the vibe of that bakery. Bakeries supposed to be happy places,
Yeah.
but The sister's like, no, that is a red flag that he said he was going back to Ecuador. No, it's not. They fight all the time.
No, right.
Any
right.
reasonable person would want to leave this relationship.
Yes.
So the sister thinks he has secrets and an agenda, and maybe a secret agenda. And his agenda is to take care of people at home. And I was like, that's not a secret agenda. He says that that's what the money's for all the time.
Right.
So he asks for the money for that purpose. So the sister suggests calling poor Jonathan and for the dirt. And he's all smiley when he answers the phone because he has no idea the shitstorm he has just walked into by answering the phone. And she says, what do you know, Jonathan? Where's this money going? And he says, well, he's helping his family, right? And she's like, well, that's what he says, but is it going directly to his kids? And Jonathan says, I don't know. Maybe he's sending the money to his ex-girlfriend, who is the mother of the kids.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Ashley flips out and says, wait, he's in contact with his ex-girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan says, well, I think it's for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley says, well, he presented it to me like he never spoke to her. Now, I had a listener reach out this morning who speaks Spanish and said they think Ashley understands maybe 15% of what Manuel says, and that her Spanish is not nearly as good as she pretends it is.
Oh, I think her Spanish is fine. I think she can make a conversational Spanish, but I don't think it's not like she's a native speaker. No, I think he could say lots of stuff with innuendo and stuff that she would not catch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if he's shady, then that's what he might be doing.
Okay.
Or he's just lying flat out.
Or he's doing either one of those things.
Or Jonathan is starting up crap, which doesn't seem like Jonathan.
It was very weird. Tell what happened, because this was very strange. This whole Jonathan thing.
Very weird. So Ashley says, he presented to me like he never talked to that woman. And then she says, hell to the nah, nah. I don't know what has crawled up his butt that he thinks this is okay. Which is not the expression. Something crawled up your butt means you're in a bad mood, which is how you are, Ashley.
Oh, I thought you were saying me. I was like, I'm not in a bad mood.
You're fine.
Thank you.
So she's like, she gets in the car. How dare Jonathan give her this bad news when she's about to get in the car and drive at night?
Oh, God.
We know what happens with this woman.
Oh, Lord.
But this time, instead of a screaming panic attack, it's a screaming anger, cuss-filled drive home at night.
Because Jonathan, all he said was he probably sends the money to his ex. And he also said, I was with him in New York when he was sending money to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she is just screaming, how dare you talk to him? Screaming. Someone take away this woman's license. And so she gets to the house. The sister is also at the house, but the sister appears to have taken her own car because she's smart and wants to live.
Right.
No one should get in a car with Ashley. So they walk in, they ambush Manuel, who is trying to watch soccer. And poor Rico Suave is going nuts. And Ashley says, I heard when you were in New York, you went with someone to send money to the mother of your kids. And he starts laughing. And she's like, what the F is funny? And that's when I noticed this open bottle, and I was just waiting for it to happen. And it was like Chekhov's gun. And I was like, please do something with that open bottle of water. So she said, she's laughing, and he says when she gets angry, she lights up like a match, and no explanation is good enough for her ever because she's completely irrational. So I just have to laugh. And she says, who do you think told me this? And he says, well, Jonathan, because he's the only one I was with in New York. But it's a lie. And Ashley says, well, call him then. So then he calls Jonathan, who should have learned by now not to answer the phone. But
I loved how Jonathan's like, am I on speaker?
Yeah.
Yes, you're filming a TV show. You're on speaker. Yes.
Talk to me. What's happening? What did I start? And Manuel says, Jonathan, she's about to stomp my head in. What did you tell her? Why did you tell her that I sent money when I was with you? Because I didn't have money. When we went out to drinks together, who paid for my drinks? Who paid for my drinks, Jonathan? Jonathan's like, I did. And Manuel's like, right, because I didn't have any money. So
because I had already sent it to that girl, so I had no money, remember?
How would I have sent money when I didn't have money, Jonathan? And Jonathan says, "Am I on speaker?" Which is when
Uh-huh.
you know someone's lying or about to say something very shady.
Mhm.
And Jonathan says, "Tell Ashley the truth."
Mhm.
And everyone's waiting. And then Manuel goes, "I am telling her the truth." And it's so shady.
Mhm.
And then Manuel starts laughing again and saying, "She's crazy." And she says, "I'm crazy because you made me that way." And I was like, don't quote Taylor Swift. And he keeps doing this annoying laugh, and she storms off without pouring the water on her head. And I don't know what's going to happen. But it was so shady, the whole thing. And Jonathan knows something, and it's I
But
don't
why would he just be trying to stir it up and lying? That's the
I think
question.
he's just tired of the
Back
just
and
wants
forth.
it to, but yeah,
Yeah.
just put it all out in the open.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not as loyal to Manuel as he thinks.
Maybe
Jonathan
he's
seems
sick of
like,
being in the middle, you
yeah,
know?
or maybe he's a decent person and it's like, I hate this lying.
Or maybe he's a total shit stirrer. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to say this just to make him get in a fight."
That's always possible. He's like John, like he would totally do something like that. But
Yeah.
also, Ashley tries to convince us that the reason this is a big deal is not that Manuel is in contact with his mother's children.
Mhm.
She's fine with that. It's the fact that he's been lying about it.
His children's mother. Yes.
She's like, it would be, I want his kids to have money, but
Yes.
how do I know it's going directly to them? She's like, she hints maybe the mom is spending it on herself or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what we don't know really anything about the mom.
Mm-mm.
And
Hmm.
it's just another thing of him being shady and like
Yes.
half truths, where if he's been saying that he
Yeah.
never speaks to this woman.
Yeah. The whole thing is wild. The whole thing is wild. And it'll be interesting to see if next week if Jonathan's like, it's just fucking with you. He didn't do that.
Sorry, I just want to
Sorry.
see another fight. Sorry.
Yeah.
I want to see if you bang it out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget Ashley had $100,000 worth of debt and never told Manuel.
I never forget. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Next time on 90 Day Happily Ever After, we're still at the Miss International World Supermodel pageant rehearsals. And we see Gino and his talking head tell her that her pageant walk is not good.
what is he doing?
And then at the
Like
hotel,
negging her.
she's like, "Listen, I'm glad you're here to be supportive, but now you're uninvited to the rehearsals."
I
Like,
agree.
I've had it with you. Loren is going to show Alex her body without all the bandages. So maybe we're at a good marking spot with her being done with all this. Patrick talks to Thais and cries about his relationship with his dad, which is sad. Basically, like, lay off my dad. He's the only family I've got,
Hmm.
only parent he's got. Um, Angela says to Michael, "We don't know when the visa is coming. What if we start fighting again?" I mean, not what if, when
When
if.
you will.
Yeah,
And it'll be later that evening.
it will be in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm not hiding anything and I'm not using you." Manuel gets mad and says nothing works with them because of Ashley's attitude. And he says she just wants to believe what she wants to believe and he can't take it anymore. And now we know they're still together because I think they might be making an appearance at one of Matt and Jake's shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it may be. Hope I didn't just ruin that. Probably did. That's how it goes with me. Sophie says it's Rob's birthday and he's going out to a club with his friends. And then we see him chatting with a girl who's definitely like a stripper who's only chatting with him because she wants his money.
Yeah.
Because literally I was like, "Oh, this is like a cute girl." No, it's a girl that is paid to talk to him. Okay.
I think so.
And
Although he
he's
is cute before you get to
oh,
know him,
yes.
he's gorgeous.
Yes, he's very good looking. And we see him saying, like, "I could get in a lot of trouble in a place like this." Well, yeah, it's a strip club. All guys could get in trouble in a
Mhm.
place like this. But the women don't like you. They're
Mhm.
being paid to pretend that's their job.
Mhm.
And that's it. And guess what? We won't be talking about that here next week because we'll be talking about the new season of A 90 Day The Other Way, season whatever, episode 1, me and you right here. And you and I will talk later and I will tell you who your people are going to be.
Oh, I'm excited.
I know we said we have Statler and Dempsey, we have Shekinah and Sarper, and I don't know who the other repeat people are. Everybody else is new.
There's more repeat people?
No, I'm asking, or if
I
those
don't
are the only repeats. Yeah, and then we'll be here with something brand new to talk
Oh,
about.
it's not Kimberly and that who went to India?
Oh, TJ.
TJ.
That would be the other way. They've already been on the other way, so we have to be him coming here.
Or Happily Ever After.
No, they've
What
been
show
on.
are we watching? Is it the
Next
other way?
week we're going to be watching The Other Way. Currently, we're watching Happily Ever After.
I mean, we had Jenny and Submit on The Other Way for a long time before they were on Happily, but I guess it wasn't until they were officially married.
I didn't see Kimberly and TJ.
Okay, then I'm just guessing.
Listen, I haven't watched a preview. I like to be surprised.
Yeah,
I really do. I really do. I know that's dumb. Everybody, please follow Katie and Kimberly over on at Dateline. Their podcast is called A Date with Dateline. And you know what? They recap Dateline episodes.
Who knew?
So if you love Dateline, like who doesn't? What are you? Everybody loves Dateline. You can go over there and listen to their podcast on Wednesdays. They're on wherever you get your podcast. You guys also have a Patreon. You guys are doing lives for your Patreon about the Karen Reed trial. Is that correct?
We've done one. Who knows?
Okay.
But we do bonus stuff, or at least we try.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got one I got a note in my email that said you sent me one.
Oh, good.
Rewind.
Oh, yes.
Yes. There's a rewind. But see, when there's a rewind, sometimes I just listen to you guys talk because I'm too lazy to go to Peacock and find it.
Well, that's what you should do.
I just listen to you guys talk about it, and sometimes I go, that sounds familiar. But I can't remember what happens. They'll tell me. Everybody, if you want to know a way to support your favorite podcasters that doesn't involve joining their Patreon, Supercast, Apple subscriptions, you can just go and give them a 5-star review. That actually really helps a lot because sometimes people go on and say negative things. And if yours is on there and nice, it's a counteraction. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also quick to just say things that are negative. Let's just support people if we're positive.
That's the opposite of what we do here.
What I mean is, instead of sending me a nasty DM and saying you don't like what I said, go find a podcast you do like and give them a 5-star review.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think consumers are way more likely to leave a negative review for like a restaurant that they didn't like instead of leaving positive reviews for their favorite restaurant that they love. Do that.
I do like sometimes if I get like a alert from a restaurant and goes, did you like us? Could you click here and say like Google whatever? And I'll go, yes, I will. But I also love a survey. The listeners, if they've been here a long time, they know I love a survey. Love. Love. When I get those viewers' voice surveys, I'm like, yes, let my voice be heard. God, when I got one time and it was all about Temptation Island, I was like, they don't even know what they've got here. Love Temptation Island.
Wow.
And I have suggestions.
You're writing an opus of like, you have itemized lists of suggestions.
Oh, yes. I was like, let me tell you about Mark L. Wahlberg and why he's a star.
Yes.
I did. And I told him, I've met him and I've talked to him plenty of times. And I was like, let me tell you what I did. He's like, oh my gosh, maybe you're the reason I got rehired.
But they were like, this lady sure seems passionate. Wow. So we better renew his contract.
She seems to be in the 55-59 category, though. Is that our demo? When I turned 55 and you have to move up in category, when you go from 49 to 54 or 55 to 50, oh man, it's gets you right in the heart.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, because I'm nowhere near 59.
No,
nowhere near.
No, look at you.
Look at me.
Look like you're getting those vampire facials every day.
Sure. Everybody follow Kimberly and Katie, and please follow me over on the Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. TikTok is at Pink Shade Podcast. And I did put up a TikTok yesterday all by myself. It's 2 minutes long. It's like a fun reel of what's her name? Amy Archer and I from this past weekend. I found it to be hilarious. It did take me 2 days, but it's very funny.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, look at me.
Love Amy Archer.
Can't wait. How can you not? Okay, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you next week, actually. Goodbye.
Bye.
not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.